Oh, hey, there you are. Have a seat, friend. You know, I've been thinking a lot lately. I've been thinking about a video I've made, and frankly, I think I want to go back on what I've previously said. What? No, not my most recent video. That one's pretty solid. Minus the leet speak joke. I figured that would've went better. But it seemed to get extra views and a reassuring like-to-dislike ratio. So it seems good to me. No, I'm here to talk about the video in which I covered Ashley Mardell. You see, I got onto that person for expecting that content producers do things to keep their fans on the right track in terms of their discourse. That they have a responsibility to keep an eye on what their homies are up to. Now's the time! Round 2! Had a staunch disagreement with it at the time. I had the idea that it was just an excuse to make people sugarcoat things and downplay how they talk about problems. But even though what I said was okay, there's something that I neglected to explain, and a big something at that. Even though one can speak on behalf of their own composure, there is a level of cause and effect based on what you give people. If you're a streamer with video highlights making silly jokes, you could expect that your audience will act like avid meme lovers. If you give people videos questioning what they previously thought through brilliant rhetoric and reasoning, you get a number of people saying profound things instead of explaining the easy way. If you're constantly reaching out and rewarding people for fan contributions, you'll come up with a thriving and active community. And if you put minimal value into holding your audience despite frequent videos, you get a poor reputation to onlookers and average view counts that aren't even a fifth of your sub count. You know, like BuzzFeed. What? So where am I going with this? Well, when one goes after the missteps of other users online with less than a reasonable approach, that may carry a risk of people going below the belt in their behavior, and I have key examples to prove it. Take the pinnacle case of Leafy is Here. He got a big following real fast doing riff videos, but then he riffed on an autistic guy and the guy was broken down to tears. Why? Not strictly because of the video, but because the guy was getting shit from people out of nowhere. Real bad shit. After that, people were pissed and all eyes shifted to Leafy. Combine that with a content cop, and Leafy's career tanked as he's reached a relative mediocrity ever since. And hey, it doesn't end there. Reupload was a more unfortunate example of something like that happening. Early in their history, they riffed Let's Play kind of videos all the time, hence the English name. But eventually, they noticeably phased out of that and went on to riffing other things, like bad Kickstarters or gameplay throughs. Why exactly? Well, their TV Tropes page might give you an idea. Billy MC got a lot more subscribers after the Lots Levels Reupload. Although he does enjoy his boost in fame, he's not really a big fan of how the fans treat him like a kid, nor their constant referencing of Reupload memes. This prompted Slow Beef and Diabetes to stop riffing on him, saying how they don't like it when their fans are mean to Billy. And that's not all. In Retsu Talk 17, Slow Beef said in a quiet, friendly voice, "If our Reuploads genuinely hurt you, please, contact us." He then goes on to tell the story of a Pokemon video they removed because the author said, in a very nice and friendly way, he was trying to build a community and didn't want the kind of vitriol Reupload brings. Damn. Actually, this makes the duo look quite kind. It shows that they're more intent on having fun. Now granted, I wouldn't say harsher criticism is their specialty, and I wouldn't say that their fans did the worst shit possible, but I can't think of many other people that would go out of their way that much to set up some good vibes. So what's the big takeaway here? Well, I'd like to apologize for ignoring this big part of my old point. I've been worrying for some time now that I've made a terrible mistake and I've given people the wrong message. I've taught fans of mine to do wrong before, and I don't want it happening again. So, for what it's worth, Mardell, if you're hearing this, maybe you had more to your point than I initially thought. It's not as black and white as I made it look. And now you're probably wondering what led me to this sudden conclusion. Well, it should be no surprise that I've seen some dumb things as of late. Spamming ineffective retorts over and over again, a ridiculous double standard, being otherwise overly defensive, toting numbers around in pointless ways instead of proving one's ideas right. You know, the works. But one thing made me have a human moment and feel fantastic about what's been going on. None of this stuff I saw came from people that were fans of mine. I saw veteran fans of mine using rhetoric that I would have been proud of if I did it. I saw a guy with history in the CC agree to disagree while still being quite understandable. Even at their snarkiest and simplest, people who have followed me for some time had more tact than I expected. I'm not honored by people standing up for me. I'm glad that they stood up for what they believed, and they did it right. Hell, I feel spoiled since I've been a bit of a troll for the last few days. I admit I've been tailoring my actions to bait out the worst and most self-destructive behaviors out of people that I knew couldn't be reasoned with. It has been working. Despite that, I felt blessed to know that I wouldn't have to second guess if you guys would go too far or do something I wouldn't. Because one thing that did disappoint me lately was the idea that an audience would outright refuse to follow the teachings of their role models. Or worse, the idea that a content creator would outright not care for the impact he would have on his audience. Hell, I've had a few times over the years where I had to look back and ask myself, what am I doing to these people? What am I doing for them? But, as of late, you folks have made me damn proud that you represented me and the core ideals I've tried to teach you so well. Like it or not, I have to admit that stuff like that, or getting to have an insightful text conversation with a fan on Twitter, really does matter. And on a side note, recent affairs have given me a new look on how I ought to make future commentaries. If I see people that I can look at and know that they could listen to what I'd have to say, I'll tailor my critique to entertain while showing what the problems are, just like when I came back to this hobby. And I'll reach out to them while I do so, no more of this why wasn't I told crap. But if I encounter people that I know wouldn't hear someone like me out, I make no promises to start a dialogue. It'd be fruitless for at least one of us at that point. Anyways, I've got a project or two coming up. I'll try to keep y'all posted.